African countries are spending more on debt service than any other expenditure, including public services, including health, including education, including provision of water. We have reached the point where debt and well-being are mutually exclusive, and this is a matter of fundamental justice. These economic and financial challenges associated with climate change keep pushing African governments into greater macroeconomic instability and closer to debt distress. Low and middle-income countries are now contending with the conditional fiscal burden of trying to recover from increasingly frequent and high-cost climate crisis. Climate change is not an exclusively African problem, but an existential threat to humanity. Unfortunately, it is being addressed in terms of the usual geopolitical divide between the global north and the global south, developed countries versus developing countries, or rich countries against poor countries, just because the net polluters are from one side while the net victims are on the other. It is time for Africa to champion a new vision to transform climate action into green climate positive growth. No nation should have to contend with crises as frequent, severe, and large-scale as climate crises currently besieging Africa on their own. And no country should ever have to choose between climate action and national development on account of limited resources. The fundamental problem with these pledges and promises is that despite the best of our intentions and our utmost endeavors, none of them has materialized. This brings us to the question that inevitably follows. What then? What do we do? We also need to facilitate trade by making it possible for business people to be able to transact their goods, their services, without the unnecessary complications in changing currencies. That is why we want the Pan-African payment system that is going to assist African business people to be able to trade and move goods and services better. We have already made the decision as the government of Kenya that for you people from Congo, Brazzaville, from tomorrow, you will not need any visa to come to Kenya. It is part of the reason that will begin to increase trade between our countries. When people move, ideas move, relationships are built, business is built, enterprise is built, trade is built, and that is what we must do. You are policymakers. I really want to persuade you. We now have the Africa Continental Free Trade Area that is going to facilitate trade between all our countries. Among the conversations we are going to have with President Sassou is how to connect the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic by road. From Mombasa to Kampala, the road is already built. From Kampala to Beni, the road is being built. We want to build it now from Beni to Kisangani, and then from Kisangani, we want to bring it all the way to Pont-Noir here, by road, by water, and by rail. Our multilateral institution system struggled to take into account African sovereignty and is structurally unable to attend to African aspirations. The mirrors do not reflect African faces because the architecture is defective and is an African. I am not making the argument that Africa should despair and abandon all engagement in international affairs. I am not advocating that as regards global solidarity and collective action, Africa has the option to give up. No. On the contrary, I am arguing that as a continent, we have a historic opportunity to define a clear position, project a strong voice, and deliver a bold new message to the world. We are making an offer to the world that we do not want anymore to be in the victim corner. We want to be in the table of discussion on arriving at a solution to the challenge that we face collectively. Africa's position and offer is that we are able and we are willing to do our part in full and to commit our assets, including mineral resources, energy resources, agricultural capacity, and natural capital to promote the global decarbonization agenda. Africa is the young, clean, green continent of the future. We will be discussing matters to do with the empowerment of young people through training and education.
On va discuter des questions portant sur l'autonomisation de jeunes gens en matière de commerce et de métier.
We want to align the training of our young people to the needs of industry.
On veut adapter la formation de nos jeunes gens aux besoins de l'industrie.
And how we can twin the technical skills in Kenya.
Comment est-ce qu'on peut jumeler les compétences techniques
and the technical skills in Congo-Brazzaville
et les compétences techniques entre les deux pays,
so that we can make our young people job ready.
Pour qu'on apprête les travaux de nos jeunes gens, le travail de nos jeunes gens.
We will also be discussing matters to do with infrastructure.
On va également parler des questions d'infrastructure.
From roads,
l'infrastructure routière,
to matters to do with rail.
Les questions portant sur le rail.
We will be discussing energy.
On va parler de l'énergie.
And these are all important components.
Il s'agit là de composantes importantes
that drive business enterprise
qui conduisent les entreprises et
by
les
the
affaires
private sector.
Et par le secteur privé.
We will be discussing opportunities.
On va discuter des opportunités
in mining,
dans le domaine minier,
in forestry,
dans la forestier,
in agriculture,
dans l'agriculture.
Again,
et encore une fois de plus,
the private sector is a very important component.
Le secteur privé, c'est la composante la plus importante qui va se rassurer
these agreements
que ces accords
bénéficient
au peuple du Kenya et au peuple du Congo-Brazzaville
and the continent of Africa.
Et le continent de l'Afrique.
I am very happy this morning.
Alors je suis très heureux ce matin
that we are having a meeting
que nous sommes en train de tenir une réunion
a very important sector
d'un secteur très important
and great partners
et des bons partenaires
of governments.
Des gouvernements.
The economy is driven by policy.
L'économie est conduite par les politiques.
But the real players are the private sector.
Mais les vrais acteurs sont le secteur privé.
We have looked at the trade statistics between ourselves and Congo-Brazzaville.
On a noté également les statistiques entre nous-mêmes et le Congo-Brazzaville.
That of the total imports.
Que les importations totales.
For Congo-Brazzaville.
Du Congo-Brazzaville.
We are exporting from Kenya 700 times less.
On exporte du Kenya vers le Congo 700 fois moins que ces statistiques du commerce intra-africain.
So therefore, these businesses which are here today.
Alors ces forums d'affaires ici.
If we are to increase that even by one,
si on doit améliorer ces pourcentages ne fût-ce que par un,
we shall be able to improve that statistic to 17%.
On doit être en mesure d'améliorer ces statistiques, je venais de souligner.
Congo-Brazzaville imports approximately $3.4 billion worth of goods and services.
1,4 million 500 000 de biens et services que le Congo importe.
And Kenya exports approximately 5.4 million worth of goods and services to Congo-Brazzaville. Ceux qui voudront investir pourront investir directement ou en partenariat avec les collègues congolais.
So those who wish to invest in Congo, they may do it straightforwardly or in collaboration with partners from Congo.
Et nous verrons ces questions de détail tout à l'heure.
So we're going to tackle all these points soon.
Et nous comptons sur nos autorités pour nous faciliter les aspects réglementaires de transfert des marchandises et des biens, des services.
We rely on our authorities to facilitate us the transport of people, of services and everything.